Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second to last race of the 2019 Formula Europe Champions League. We are tonight in Hockenheimring in Germany for this race, and joining me today as the director of this live stream will be Alessandro Pietracatella.
Good evening, everybody.
I would say we can jump right on track because we already have some times set by our drivers. We have Delma in first position right now with 1:11.224 on ultra soft tires, then Libero also on ultra softs with a 1:11.552, and then we have F1MD Reds and Magic on medium tires, followed by Aloy and F1MD Mark and Smokeman. All these drivers are on medium tires, so we can already say something about the strategy here, because we know how much of an advantage it is in the grand scheme of things to start on the soft tires, or in general on a harder set of tires, because you can come away with one less stop, and it's really an advantage, because also the overheating of the ultra soft tires is a real problem here. So I think we will see a lot of drivers trying a strategy where they start on the harder tires, but remember, there is quite a big jump from the ultra soft to the soft tires, because we are skipping here the super softs. So there is quite a difference of pace between these two compounds, and we will see, I would say, a pretty mixed up grid, because many drivers will be setting their time on harder tires, but someone might also try to get an early advantage in the race and start on the ultra soft to try and pull away as much as he can in the first laps. And now Guy has set his first time on a 1:11.4, and Tonix is joining the pack right now in fourth position with a 1:11.685, but he is on medium tires, so he is the fastest on medium tires right now, followed by TF1 Hamilton with a 1:11.8 and Smokeman on a 1:12.2. So right now only two drivers have managed to lap under the 1:12 on a set of medium tires, and let's see what they can do when and if they will put on a set of soft tires, because I don't believe they will be starting on the ultra soft. It wouldn't make much sense for them to waste time doing laps on the medium tires right now. Also big risk for Magic, who slides around after the last corner and just about manages to control the car and keep it in a straight line. But he's right now in P8 with a 1:12.4, and Reds looks like he's the first one to put on the soft tires. Let's see if he's going to come out shortly on track. We see also quite a calm face to this qualifying. It's the middle stage where drivers are trying to do something a little bit better.
Is improving on medium tires, almost half a second at the end of the second sector.
Let's see, so if he can get closer to the guys on the ultra softs. He comes across the line right now, and he's on a 1:11.754, so it's a really good time for him, and he puts himself just under 1/10 from Tonix, and that's a really good time, because he's been done also on 4 laps old tires, which is not optimal, but he did manage to pull off a really good time, and we'll see if this is going to make him a challenger for one of the best positions to start, because this race is one of those situations where maybe being on pole position is not as important as being on the right tire at the start. And we'll see if the guys, of course, if you can put yourself into pole position with soft tires, it's really good. But if you are not, but you are on harder tires, it can be also good. And you can pull off maybe a better strategy and go for the win, even not having
should
pole position.
improve his time. He's arriving now.
Yeah, second sector split now for Tonics. Little bit wide maybe, but doesn't seem to stop him. Let's see if he's going to improve last corners for now, but he pulls into the pits. And so he decides there's not enough time for another lap, and Hamilton is the first one to come out on soft tires, and so he will give us an indication about what the pace can be like with these tires. And also I've noticed at the bottom of the grid there's Mark, who is lapping on ultra soft tires. Maybe he's going to try and put himself as up the grid as possible. He's now going around the last corners, but no, he pulls into the pits as well, and so he is maybe going to try the same strategy as his teammates.
Sainz is doing a good lap, should gain some positions.
Yeah, he's right at the end on the last two corners, little bit wide on the last one, but it's fine. He comes across the line and he goes P7 with 1:12.153 on medium tires, remember. So let's see if he's going to come into the pits and try one lap with soft tires. Let's take a look at Hamilton, who is sliding around the hairpin there at the end of the long straight. Let's see what's his time like. He's 15.5 in the first sector, which is a very, very good time. And let's see if he can...
arriving now, and it's P1.
Yeah, guys, P1 on ultra soft tires and a 1:11.0. Meanwhile, Hamilton seems to have aborted his lap and is going to try one more time. He's going to start over.
Meanwhile, Albon did a mistake and is entering now in the pit lane.
Albon, who doesn't have a time set yet, he's P15, and he will have to find something to put in a lap, because otherwise he will start from the very bottom of the grid. Now also Smokeman is on track with the soft tires, so we are starting to get an indication about the strategies the top guys have in their mind. Let's take a look at Hamilton's times. He's now caught up to McLaren car, it seems, who gets out of the way just in time. Don't know if he lost any time there, but
should be improving of some tenth of a second.
Little bit wide of the last corner, but he manages to keep the car and he goes P2 with a 1:11.208, and it's the first time we have set on soft tires, so that's pretty much the indication. That's the time you want to aim for. That's the time you want to be close to if you want to have a good position.
Just starting his lap on soft tires.
Let's keep an eye also to him. So, and all the other guys will be starting their laps shortly. Let's see Smokeman's first sector. It's 15.6, just about slower than Hamilton, but still a really good time for him being done in on the soft tires. Also, Tonix is going to start his lap really soon, and so let's keep an eye for these guys. Smokeman is now coming through the second sector into the stadium section right now. At the hairpin just before the last section of corners, he goes. Last corner for him right now, a little bit wide, but he controls it and he comes across the line to go P2 111.205, just 3 thousandths of a second faster than Hamilton, who is in the pits. So I think Hamilton is pretty much done for this session, and he's been out-qualified by Smokeman by just 3 thousandths of a second, which is pretty much nothing. Let's keep an eye also on Tonix's time. He's 15.4 in the first sector, 33.4 in the second, so a really good time for him. Let's see if he's going to keep it until the end.
I think he has an invalidated lap.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
no he hasn't. 110.954 and it's a pole position for Tonix. Right now, he's a provisional pole position for the Ferrari driver. And he... well, we have been a little bit tricked here, because
yes.
I also didn't see the time colored in green.
Exactly.
Saying he was
in
his
fact,
best
indeed,
time.
I was thinking it was invalidated lap for that.
Yeah, maybe there was a problem with the out lap being invalidated, and so the game thought it was also the actual qualifying lap. But enough of that. Let's see if someone else is going to improve, because we have right now F1MD Tonix in pole position, provisionally pole position. Joining him on the first row will be F1 Gae. Second row will be Smokeman and Hamilton, if nothing changes. Let's take a look also at the rest of the grid. We have from P5 on Delma, Libero, Reds, Aloy,
Danix
Casciaro.
is improving.
Let's see where
It's now
Danix
the
is
last
going.
turn.
Last corner for him. Across the line he comes and he goes P7, 111.407. Goes up to 7th position. And also Albon
Now
improves 111.709. And let's see if the guys
on the last turn is improving too.
Talema on the line, P9 for him, 111.650, and then Reds 111.635. So really close times, and Gae comes across the line with a 110.862 to get the pole position time and go fastest.
Mark on the last turn for
Mark
FMD.
is now coming through the line, and he goes P8 with a 111.521. So he jumps quite a lot of people, and we are seeing all the grid.
And Reds is now closing his last lap.
A little bit wide on the second to last corner.
Should
Tonix 110.772. It's the new pole position time, while Reds goes P6 with 111.334, and Tonix has pulled off a stunner of a lap, 110.772 on soft tires. And let's see if anyone is going to be able to do something better, but I really don't think so, because Gae has already, I think, abandoned his lap. Yes, he has. Yeah, he's coming into the pits right now, and Libero has 2 laps old tires, so he has abandoned the lap as well. And so I would say, no, there's Mark still on track, trying to improve his time, maybe. Let's see if he's going to finish his lap. And there's a wow, there's a there's a Haas right in the middle of the track stopped, but yeah. And Mark comes into the pits. So this is the starting grid for the German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheim Ring. Tonix and Gae will be the first row, then Smokeman and Hamilton, Dilma and Reds, Libero, Danix, Mark, Magic, Talema, Aloy, Albon, Sainz and Casciaro rounding out the grid. Wow, we have a problem, it seems.
Oh, yes.
We might have a little bit of a problem here.
And
So,
so I think we are going to recreate the lobby at this point because
yeah,
we lost the,
I
the
think we
host
have no
and
choice.
one of the race direction. So
Yeah, I think we have no choice. So I'm asking to the direction of the stream if we have a
we
break
have
or
just
we are just
to
continuing.
go to make to see the final standings of the qualifying session. Then we can have a little break.
Okay. So Tonix, as I said, takes pole position ahead of Gae, Smokeman, Hamilton, Dilma, Reds, Libero, Danix, Mark and Magic. This is your top 10. The others guys will have free choice of stars will be Talema, Aloy, Albon, Sainz and Casciaro. Now we will be recreating the lobby because we had a little bit of problems. So we'll be right back. and you join us back right in the formation lap for the German Grand Prix. F1 MD Tonics is in P1 on pole position, followed by F1 Guy, then Smokeman and Hamilton. We are in the second sector right now in the formation lap, and we are going to start this race very, very soon. Let's take a look of what the guys outside of the top 10 did in terms of their strategy. They decided to go on soft tires, as has pretty much the whole grid, excluding F1 Gae, F1 Simu Delmas and Libero. So we have the 3 F1 Simu drivers all on ultra soft tires, who will be a threat for the guys on soft tires at the very start of this race. But here we go. Now F1 MD Tonics is regaining his pole position slot on the grid, and the other guys are lining up as well. We are waiting for Simo Casciaro to rejoin his position, and then we will be ready to start racing. The lights are out. 3, 4, 5 lights, and away we go right now in Hockenheim. Good start from Tonics, who manages to clear out from Gae, who holds second position, then Hamilton in third, who gains the spot on Smokeman, taking advantage of the inside line. Then Reds going round on the inside of Smokeman and turns to the outside for next corner, and Smokeman manages to defend, and now they go side by side on the straight, and Red seems to have a little bit of an advantage going into the braking zone. Right there behind them, they are 3 wide between Libero, Danix and Mark, and Libero comes out on top with Mark in 7th position, then Danix, but Danix is now going to attack Mark once again at the inside of the Mercedes Arena turn, and he tries, but he doesn't manage to take the position, and Mark retains P7, while Albon has had a really good start, is up into P10 from what was, I think, like P13 on the grid, and he's now battling away with Talema, who is losing some positions. Maybe, I don't know if he has a problem or if he just went wide in the battle, but lost the position also to Salvatore Aloi. Tonics, of course, setting the fastest lap of the race on the very first lap, and oh, we have lost Libero. He lost connection. That's unfortunate for the F1 Simu guys. But this means that now Mark and Danix gain the position, and everyone pretty much is going to gain a position from this. So let's take a look at what the grid is like after the first lap. We have Tonics in first position, followed by Gae, who is really, really close to him. But remember, Gae is on ultra soft tires, so it's on a different strategy. We'll have to see if he will be close enough when it counts, actually, because he will have to stop earlier than Tonics. Then Hamilton was brilliantly managed to take away P3 from Smokeman, and then Reds, who has had a really good start and is ahead of Smokeman as well in P4, with Smokeman dropping all the way back to P5 right now, but he is really following closely Reds, not giving up on 4th position. Behind them is Mark with quite a bit of a gap, actually, and Guy is setting the fastest lap of the race in 1:15.8 on his ultra soft tires. Albon is in the pits. Wow, it's only been 1 or 2 laps and he's already in the pits.
Magic has broken wing.
Yeah, broken front wing for both of these guys, and so Magic is going to go on to a set of what seem to be medium tires as well as Albon, and both of them are changing their front wing. We have some battles though with Smokeman regaining the position on Reds, going down the inside of the hairpin. And also Dilmas has managed to retake the position on Danix. Now let's see if Mark will be able to take advantage from the battle between Smokeman and Reds, because he is he's in 6th position at the moment, but Reds and Smokeman seem to have a really similar pace, and they're going right at the same pace right now. And let's see if this is going to disturb them a little bit, which doesn't seem, because the gap to Mark is staying between 1.4 and 1.5 seconds, but you never know if they engage in a battle in which F1 MD Reds has all the interest in engaging. They might lose some time to the guys behind, and now Delma seems to have really good pace on his ultra soft tires, and he has caught up to the back of Mark. And let's see if he's going to try and go for the move. Even in this lap, it can be. There's also Talema going on the attack on Sainz and then on Cacharo, but he goes wide and goes off track, and then there is a little bit of a contact maybe between Sainz and Cacharo. They came really close to each other, but I think that everyone got away with no damage, so that's at least positive. And let's see if Delma is going to go for the move on Mark. A little bit slidey there in the second to last corner, while Hamilton sets the fastest lap in 1:15.5, and he's going pretty fast right now. Let's see if it's that time of the race where the ultra soft tires start to feel a little bit slidey, but it doesn't seem likely, because the clouds covering the sky are really making this track cold, so overheating shouldn't be a major problem for the drivers. So we'll see how it pans out, everything, but what is certain is that Mark has lost a lot of ground to the couple formed by Smokeman and Reds, while Hamilton is the first to get his name on the penalty board with this 3 seconds. And but it doesn't also seem that Delmas has that much pace compared to Mark, because he doesn't seem to have enough speed to attack him. Maybe Mark is just really fast on the straights and can do something in the corners, but Delmas has not been able to try and attack. Well, so Aloy joins Hamilton on the penalty board. Let's see if, with the help of DRS, Delmas is going to go for the move here on the straight. He goes on the inside of Mark and breaks late, and he manages to take P6 away from the Ferrari driver, who switches back though and tries with the traction, with the superior traction, to retake the position, and he does so. So great defensive work from Mark, but this is costing both of them precious time, while Tonix ahead has broken the 1 second window from Gae, or he almost has, and will be now almost free from the Frenchman using DRS on him. While Delmas seems to have made a little bit of a mistake, because he has lost pretty much 1 second from Mark right now. He's 1.3 seconds back, and Danix has gained a lot of time on him, like 9 seconds or something like that. Maybe just a mistake, or maybe the tires are literally giving up while Libero is desperately trying to rejoin. There's a switch between Casciaro and Aloy, also with TF1 Science involved in the battle, and he tries to go and split the two F1 Nation guys. But Aloy tries to resist on the inside with late braking, a little bit of a archie-barchie there. And Sainz pushes him wide a little bit, but he doesn't give up. He has the outside for the next corner. There's no way he can keep that, but he tries to go on the inside of the hairpin in the stadium section, but in the end, TF1 Sainz has the better of him and takes P10. This has helped, though, Casciaro pull away from these guys. Now he has a 1.2 second lead on Sainz. This means that the Toro Rosso driver cannot use DRS for this straight at least. While at the front we have Hamilton going for the move on Gae, whose tires are starting to go off a little bit, and now Smokeman is right there, with also Reds really close behind. Let's see if Smokeman is going to try the move here. He doesn't. Yeah, he waits a little bit more. He wants to have an absolutely secure run at him. Doesn't want to risk anything. But also he has to beware that he cannot lose too much time to the guys ahead, because otherwise he's going to lose their train. And now he has DRS, and let's see if he tries the move right at the end of the straight. No, he doesn't. He tucks in behind, but ooh, Gahed has overshot the corner, yes. quite a bit. And he has now dropped 2 positions instead of just 1. He lost the position to Smokeman, who's now P3, and to Reds, who's now P4, and is really close to Smokeman. There is Tony who has a 1.9 second lead, and then there's a three-way fight pretty much between TF1 Hamilton, Smokeman, and Reds, who are fighting for the 2 remaining spots on the podium. And now let's see if Gae decides to take action by going into the pits early. Yes, he does. He pulls in to change his tires. And this means that Delmas will have to stay out 1 extra lap, and is now under threat from Danix, who is very close to him, just half a second behind, and we will see if he has the pace to overtake him in this straight. He arrives really close in under braking. And now let's see if he has a good run on the straights. Yes, he has. It seems like he can be the good one, the good lap for the overtake, and he does go up the inside and take P6. Danix does. And yeah, this extra lap maybe it's going to cost Delmas a little bit, but his teammate was ahead, and so he had a preference. Now Gae has the freshest tires on the grid, so let's see what his pace is like, and let's see if the other guys are going to I would say follow him on this strategy, but they can't. It would be pretty much a reverse strategy. They would go on a set of soft tires and then ultra soft right at the end, or if they're going to choose to do a one stop and put on a set of mediums and go to the end. Let's see. We can have an indication about that from guys' times. And also the other drivers will be able to gather some information. But there is TF1 Sainz, who is trying the move on Simo Casciaro. Let's see if the Spanish driver can do something, not at the hairpin, because Casciaro defends really well by blocking the center of the track, and Sainz has nowhere to go. But let's see if in the next corners he has the speed to take P7 away from the F1 Nation driver. They enter the stadium section right now. Last corner for them, and Sainz seems a little bit far away from Casciaro, not really in the distance for an attack.
Attention, Smokeman on Hamilton.
Yes, Smokeman is really, really close, and he goes on the outside and he outbrakes him, but Hamilton tries to defend and it manages to keep the position with some good old late braking, very late braking actually. And now Smokeman though has much more speed than him and wants to overtake the Williams driver because he knows he's holding him up. Let's see if he has the space or a good run in general in this section of the track. He goes around the hairpin under the grandstand there, but it doesn't seem close enough. Now here come the DRS straights, where he has the best possibility to go for the move. But Hamilton seems pretty strong in the last section of the track, and Smokeman just cannot get close enough to try and attack. And that move from Smokeman has helped majorly Tonix, because he has now a 3-second lead on Hamilton and on all the others, because these guys were fighting at the hairpin and they lost so much time. Meanwhile, Sainz is going on the inside of Casciaro. He has tried the move. Casciaro tries the switchback, but it doesn't work. And let's see if he tucks him behind in the slipstream. Let's see if he goes for the move, but Sainz defends the center of the track, and Casciaro has nowhere to go to try and attack. And now Sainz has officially gained P7 on the Italian driver. While we haven't really seen Reds too much in the last laps, because he has dropped a little bit of pace. He's now 1.5 seconds behind Smokeman. Doesn't seem to have the pace to catch him, but also he has to keep in mind that Smokeman is now pretty much blocked behind Hamilton. So if he has a possibility to gain a position, it's now, and he should be trying to gain something, but instead he seems to be losing more and more time. So let's see, maybe he has used a lot of fuel in the first part of the races, and now he's trying to save that. While in the meantime, also Mark has pretty much the same gap to the guys ahead. It's 5.2 seconds now, while Casciaro has not given up on P7. He's still really, really close to Sainz, just 6/10 separating them. Sainz also goes a little bit wide out of turn 1. So he'll have to be aware of that. So Cacharo has DRS. He doesn't quite have the possibility yet to try and retake P7, but as long as he stays close to him, he could try something with the strategy as well. And remember, there is in the standings there is a fight for P3 between F1 Nation and TF1, so these points are very, very important, considering that Hamilton is up there in P2. The guys from F1 Nation have to do the best they can to counteract the fact that one of their rivals drivers is up there. Seems that the situation has a little bit stabilized, while Reds continues to lose a lot of ground from Smokeman and Hamilton. He has now a 3.6 second gap, and I can't really explain why. He is just maybe trying to consolidate his 4th position, and doesn't have that much of an interest in pushing, but also Smokeman is still there, and he cannot get close enough to Hamilton and try and overtake him. Now he still has DRS, though for some reason he doesn't use it in the straight. But yeah, now the positions are pretty much stabilized from the first phase of the race. We have to wait the first pit stop window to see things reshuffle a little bit. Now Smokeman has gained something. He's just half a second, sorry, down on Hamilton. And the gap also to Tonics, from Hamilton to Tonics, is pretty much staying the same. 3.1 seconds, 3 seconds is staying there in that window. So this means that the guys are just making their pace and trying to consolidate their positions without taking too many risks. Also, Smokeman might be trying to save a little bit of fuel for later on in the race, because and also trying to keep his battery nice and full, because right now he has something like 75% battery charge, while Hamilton is only at 20-25. So Smokeman is in a pretty good position right now. It might be thinking of an attack sooner rather than later. It's just trying to size up the move. And also Hamilton is now starting to lose a little bit on Tonics, while Reds has fallen a long way back from Smokeman, who has found his rhythm after the first couple of laps where he fell down to P5. Now he has regained P3, which was his starting slot, but with the difference that now Hamilton is ahead of him. But Hamilton now has his name falling on the penalty board again, so Hamilton is at 6 seconds of penalty, and That's not good for him. That's absolutely not good for him. Because the other guys are driving really, really cleanly. The guys around him especially. So he is losing the possibility to have a straight fight with them. And yeah, also Smokeman knows that there's no real reason to attack Hamilton, and because the pace with Donix is pretty much there, and he knows Hamilton has the penalty, so he will he's effectively ahead of him, but has the opportunity to save fuel and ERS. So that's pretty much a win-win situation for Smokeman. And we will see his real pace if he has something more than this when we have when and if he ever has clean air for him to work with. But for now, he holds station, he stays behind and remains patient, while the pace between Reds and Mark is pretty much equal. They are both falling behind and dropping like 2 or 3 tenths a lap from the guys ahead, who seem to have the possibility to run away with it. And yeah, the gap between them stays pretty much the same between Reds and Mark, and also Danix seems to be level on in terms of pace with these guys, while there's a battle between Magic and Albon, and the Renault driver manages to take P13 away from his rival, and now has a 12 seconds gap to close to get to Dilmas. Really unfortunate for him, that incident in the first part of the race. I think it was with Albon, because they both pulled into the pits really early, and they both changed their front wing. So, and now Magic is showing he has the pace. 1:15.558 is the new fastest lap to the race, and he has done it on 18 laps old medium tires. So I don't know if the guys on soft tires have something in the back that they are not showing us, or it's just getting to the point where the soft tires need to be changed. But either way, Magic is the fastest man on track right now, and the medium tires seem to be quite a viable option, I would say. I don't know if what the pace will be like on new soft tires. Surely better than this, but we have to consider you have to take to do one more stop if you want to use the soft tire twice, which is 20 seconds to make up in this stint, in the second stint. And for a stint, ooh, that's important. Smokeman gets a 3-second time penalty, and so he well, he's still ahead of Hamilton, who has 6 seconds, but and Tonix just takes the just decides to destroy completely the what I was saying. 1:15.4 is his fastest lap of the race right now on 22 laps old tires. Yeah, he had something in the bag, it seems, because he's now 3.8 seconds ahead of Hamilton, and maybe between this fastest lap and the penalty, Smokeman has realized it's time to chase down Tonix, and it's time to try and get clean air, because he's really, really close to Hamilton right now, just 2-3 tenths separating them. And let's see if Smokeman is going for the move or not. Stays really close in the stadium section, but doesn't quite have the run he needs out of the last corner. Let's see with this DRS straight. For some reason, he doesn't use DRS in this straight and in the second one. I don't know if it's just a glitch and I can't see him, but I see he doesn't open DRS. He does now on the long straight, but he didn't do so in the other ones. Maybe they're just too short and he prefers to run normally without DRS. I don't know why you would do that, but hey, you never know. While Sainz has got his name on the penalty board as well, and now Cacharo is right behind him. Well, actually, he has never left the back of him. And yeah, they're holding their positions pretty much in the same way that Smokeman and Hamilton are doing. While Gae is really close to Talema to try and enter into the top 10. Let's see if he has the speed to go for the move in the next section of corners or in the straights. He's on much fresher soft tires, but Talema is yet to pit, so let's see. He opens DRS right now, doesn't quite have the speed or isn't close enough to try and go for the move. DRS again for him, but yeah, Talema is just slightly too far still and he cannot go for the move. But he has closed up so much with the DRS on that straight, and we will try to stay this close for the next part and maybe try and sneak up at the inside of some of these corners, but doesn't seem to have a good run. And Smokeman is in the pits. Smokeman is in the pits and is trying the undercut along with Danix and Sainz. Smokeman probably trying the undercut on Hamilton. He is out in clean air, so he has to push right away and really hard. He's 4.5 seconds behind Mark, so he has plenty of clean air to try and gain this position on TF1 Hamilton. Let's see how the Williams driver responds to this strategy call, if he pulls straight into the pits or he decides to continue and maybe try a different strategy. But we have already done 25 laps, and well, Tonix is in the pits as well, no reason for him to stay out any longer, and Hamilton is in the pits as well. So I should mention, Smokeman is on soft tires, which suggests he is surely on a two-stop, as well as Tonix and as well as Hamilton. Let's see where he comes out. Hamilton does. Now Smokeman is going around turn 1. Hamilton is just ahead and they are wheel to wheel, and Hamilton tries to shut the door and he manages so, and he keeps the effective P2 of the race. But now Smokeman has much warmer tires and he's going for the move up the inside on the straights, and he cuts ahead of him and tries to go and defend the inside right away. Under braking, Hamilton brakes late, but it's not quite enough because Smokeman has the inside line and he takes P3, effective P2 of the race, because Mark ahead of them is yet to pit. We see Hamilton squirming around and trying to go for a gap that does not exist because Smokeman is doing a really good defensive job, and now he has a couple of meters of gap. And oh, there's a yellow flag somewhere. Yeah, it's Gae, I think. Yeah, Gae had some problems. He has lost 3 seconds from.
He had a contact with Talema.
Yeah, he had. I'm pretty sure he was a contact with Talema. Yes, they were fighting in these laps, and now he fell back a little bit. I don't know if Talema has any damage because he lost a lot of time on the last sector, but it doesn't seem so. Ooh, really risky for Talema in the pits. His car ghosted through Alois 1. And yeah, Talema is out on medium tires, so Talema and Casciaro are on a different strategy. They are on a one-stop, it seems, because they chose to go on a set of medium tires. Let's see if this choice is going to go well for them. In the meantime, Danix has overtaken Gae, and Tonix now sets the fastest lap in 1:14.6, immediately beaten by Smokeman in 1:14.1, and Smokeman is literally flying at the moment. He's going for it, and in fact he just gained half a second on Tonix and is now 3.6 seconds behind the Ferrari driver. Last lap he was 4.1, so this shows he really had something on his hands, when he was behind Hamilton and didn't manage to overtake him. But the fact that Tonix didn't pull away that much in that particular section of the race is now helping Smokeman, because he has a gap which is still not that large and can be closed. I can't say easily, because nothing is easy at this level, but there is still hope that Smokeman can catch Tonix for him. And let's see what the lap times are like. And Tonix comes across the line and sets a 1:14.1, which is very similar to the last lap of Smokeman, who sets now a 1:14.2. Tonix has maybe settled into his rhythm, it's taken a lap longer, and also has 1 lap fresher tires, because Smokeman pitted 1 lap earlier than him, while Casciaro is really close to Delmas. Let's see if he tries to overtake him. And now he has DRS on the long straight. He has a good run out of turn 3. And let's see if he goes for it. He goes up the inside, and he does. So he takes P9 and regains his spot behind Sainz, who actually gained quite a bit in the pit stop phases with him. because the gap is now 4 seconds and it was practically nothing before they entered the pits. I don't know if something happened with the Casciaro's pit stop, but he just seems to have lost a lot of ground, and now Sainz is right up the back of Gae with much fresher tires, with much fresher soft tires, so same compound, but a lot of laps less, while Mark gets his name on the penalty board as well, first of the FMD drivers. Sainz didn't quite have the speed to try the move on Gae in the first 2 straights, but he will surely try in this one. Let's see if Gae has the speed to compete with the DRS. No, he hasn't, and underbraking Sainz goes up the inside and takes P7 with little to no effort. And now the next car up the road for him is Danix, while Tonix is starting to get his act together. 1:14.008 is the new fastest lap of the race. The gap to Smokeman is back to 4.7 seconds right now, and so Tonix has decided that it's time to try and run away with it. And also Hamilton has kept the gap to Smokeman, still there or thereabouts, 2 seconds, while Reds has fallen back even more. He's 10 seconds behind Hamilton, but he is still doing a pretty good job, because he is now in P4 with Mark in P5, so the F1MD guys are all in the top 5 and they are trying to get as many points as they can from this race, which will be very important going into the finale at Abu Dhabi. Lap 33 of 67, and the situation is Tonix in P1, 4.6 seconds ahead of Smokeman, then Hamilton, Reds, Mark, Danix, TF1 Sainz, Gae, Casciaro and Dilma. This is the top 10 with Salvatore Aloi, who is trying to be one of the guys in the top 10. He's just up Dilma's gearbox, and we will see if he manages to overtake him with the DRS on this straight. He goes for it, and he tries to go up the inside. Yes, he does. He outbrakes him, and on the inside he gets the job done, leaving no room for a response to his rival, and he's up into P10. While Albon and Magic are really close, and Albon is looking really punchy behind the Renault driver, trying to go for a move maybe in the next corners. Let's see if he manages to stay close enough going into the 3 consecutive straights. He will have a really good run in this lap, I think. He's now 3/10 behind. He opened DRS in both straights, and now he's trying to get a better line. Goes with the DRS on the long straight. Magic defends on the inside, And Albon chooses the outside line and it doesn't work for him, but now he tries to switch back and it doesn't work once again because Magic does some brilliant defensive work and does not leave any room or any possibility to Albon. He just keeps the inside line, and at the hairpin, if you have that, you're not getting overtaken. So really good job by the F1 Italian team driver, trying to defend his P12, while Guy is in the pits right now, putting on another and what I think is his final set of soft tires. So let's see. Once again, we will have an idea what the pace can be like on these new tires. He has also a little bit of fuel problems, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But he's pretty much on the edge. But there's still quite a long way to go, 30 laps in this race still. And shortly I think we will see also Dilmas stopping. Wow, another penalty for Hamilton. That's not good at all. On the flip side, we can see Reds is really far from him, and he got a penalty just now as well. So yeah, maybe these penalties are not going to cost Hamilton in his fight with Reds, but surely they're gonna cost him in his fight with Smokeman, if there is ever one. Because now, if he wants to stay ahead of Smokeman, he has to overtake him, which is quite a task for its own, and then he has to pull like I think a 6 seconds gap to him, which would mean actually being like a rocket ship on your last set of tires. And yeah, it's a really unlikely scenario for him. And yeah, all these penalties are not helping him. Remember, Smokeman has a 3-second penalty, so really Hamilton should have been more careful about these penalties, because right now we would be talking about another race, I think, regarding him. While ahead of him, Smokeman has gained a little bit of time on Tonics. He's back to 4.0 seconds. He was on 4.5, 4.6 before. He's trying to keep the pace and make the gap and keep the gap stable as he can. And Tonics might be just nursing the tires a little bit. He has the advantage on track, of course. He can manage the race a little bit, so he's in control pretty much right now. But the fact that Smokeman is still there and doesn't leave him that much breathing space makes him keep his attention up. And yeah, so Smokeman is doing a good job at the moment at keeping the gap where it is and gaining something a little bit lap after lap. Now he's back under 4 seconds gap, so 3.9 is yeah, he's trying to keep the pace as much as he can and to keep the pressure on. And also Hamilton manages to keep the pace of the first two guys, and he has just a 2.3 second gap to to Smokeman. So the pace of the first 3 guys is pretty good at the moment. While yeah, Reds has been dropping back pretty much since lap 10, and is just, I think, consolidating his P4, as is Mark. P5 for him, and 5.4 seconds gap to Danix. It's a pretty good situation for the Ferrari driver right now. We could see a battle between F1 Nation drivers. We have Simo Casciaro, who is catching Salvatore Aloi, which is weird because Aloi has softer tires, but maybe he doesn't feel that well with them. And right behind them is actually Magic, who is doing a good job. To say he was last on the on lap 2. He's trying to recover and get as many points as he can. It won't be easy because his tires are 36 laps old, and we'll see where they take him. But of course, you have to appreciate the fact that he's still trying to fight back from a very unfortunate start. And Albon is keeping him honest, actually. He's keeping his pace right behind there. Tried the attack also a couple of times, but didn't work out for him. So he decided just to keep his position. And now Albon is into the pits for his second and, I suppose, final stop. Let's see if what he puts on. He puts on a set of soft tires, and to run to the end, because yeah, 27 laps is doable, absolutely. Let's see if Magic is going to follow him and trying to respond to his to Albon's undercut, or if he's going to try and stay out to have fresher tires at the end and do some work when he has the advantage, and try to overtake Albon again. But we still have this situation between Aloi and Casciaro. They are really close together, but they just seem to be running to set the pace to one another. And Magic is in the pits. Let's see where he comes out, if he comes out ahead of Albon, who is now going around the last corner. Magic, he is exiting the pit lane. I think he will be ahead, no problem for him. Yes, he is. Also a little bit of a mistake for Albon in the last... Ooh, Hamilton, 111.2. That's a little bit weird. That's definitely a little bit weird. Doesn't seem possible to me, but yeah. Okay, now everything has a sense. So, Hamilton, we have lost Hamilton, unfortunately. Not before he set an absolutely unbelievable, in the real meaning of the word, time of a 111.2, which is closer to a qualifying time than to a race time. But yeah, now he's effectively dropping back, and he will lose also a lot of position if he doesn't rejoin quick enough. And even if he does, he will have to do some work to regain the gap to Reds, because let's remember, he has 9 seconds of penalty and Reds has only 3, and I'm pretty sure he's going to catch him quite fast, because he loses like 4 seconds a lap going at the AI pace. So yeah, apart from this Hamilton situation, the race has pretty much stabilized a lot, because Tonix is still in first place with 4.3 seconds on Smokeman. Then Hamilton still in P3, and Reds. Yeah, Hamilton is now again. Let's see if he will be able to take control of his car once again. In the meantime, though, Reds has gained like 10 seconds on him. He still hasn't regained control of his car. And Reds is coming right now. Let's see what happens. And Reds is right there. Now he has also DRS on the ghost car of Hamilton. And he will go for the move here, I think. Yes, he does. And Reds takes P3. Let's see if also Mark will be able to gain the position. For some reason, it doesn't seem Hamilton is able to retake control of his car, and I don't know why. Because we saw him rejoin the lobby, but never had the chance to retake control of his car. Yeah, he's still ghosted after 1 lap, so maybe he has another kind of problem that doesn't let him retake control of his vehicle. While Tonix is pushing a little bit more, he has extended the gap to 4.9 seconds.
He's now in control of his car.
Okay, so Hamilton has officially regained control of his car. Right now he's in P5, pretty close to Mark actually. 1.2 seconds. Let's see if he will. Ooh, I saw a really significant chunk of lag there. He was teleporting like meters ahead. I don't know if the race director saw that as well. I don't know if it was just me, but yeah, I still see him having some major problems regarding lag. Anyway, there's a guy who is on the attack on Talema, and he has overtaken him for P10, while both Magic and Albon have now overtaken Dilmas, who is in 14th place, and well, the battle is still on between Gae and Talema. Gae is on the outside, and he tries to go around the outside. They're still side by side in the stadium section. He has the inside. Gae does for the next corner, and he manages to take P10. I don't know if it's definitive, because now Talema will have DRS for the 3 consecutive straights. He also is on medium tires, so he's a little bit in a disadvantaged situation, but remember, the DRS is really powerful, especially when you can use it for 3 straights in a row. And let's see if he's going to be able to attack now Gae, who has had a, to be fair, a really good exit from turn 3. Now he covers the inside line. Talema tries to go on the outside and he goes for the switchback move, really tight on the apex of the hairpin, but it's not enough to overtake Gae, who manages to keep the position, but now leaves the door open on the outside, and Talema tries to go for it, but Gae once again covers the apex, and it doesn't let Talema try the move, while Hamilton is still losing positions. Yeah, actually, he spun. He has spun at turn 1, so he's now in P7. He lost the positions to Danix and Sainz. So yeah. And now he jumped straight ahead of them once again. Okay. That's weird. Definitely.
He has not spun on turn 1. I think he just left other guys through because he noticed the lag problem, because just went wide and brake hard losing time.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to look at him anymore because I am seeing something that is
Yes,
completely out of reality. But yeah. Let's move on now. Gae has managed to pull away from Talema a little bit after that good battle they had. Gae has gained P10 officially. While Aloy and Kasharo are still really close together. They are, as I said, running together to, I think, pretty much the end of this race. Maybe Kasharo is going to the end. I don't know if Aloy is, because he has 20 laps old tires. So I think he will have to pit again, and that's why maybe he's not letting Kasharo through, or they are not fighting because Kasharo knows he needs all the clean air in the world to try and squeeze as much performance as he can from these tires. Well, Magic is really close to Talema right now, and he might be looking for an attack in the stadium section. Talema is a little bit wide, doesn't quite take the apex of the turn that goes into the stadium section. Now the last section of corners, Magic is really there, opens DRS for the start-finish straight, goes around turn 1. Let's see if he tries on the main straight, on the long straight at turn 3. He has had a really good exit from turn 3, and so he goes on the inside of Talema with no problem at all. He dispatches of him and goes into P11, and now we'll start to chase after F1 Gae to enter into the top 10, which would be quite a result for him, because remember, on the second lap he was in P15 with like 15 or 20 seconds gap to the pack. So he has done a really good job, and he's trying, of course, to get as many points as he can to help his team to arrive at the final showdown in the best position possible. Well, Albon is pretty much collecting penalties right now. He has had 2 in the span of 1 lap, pretty much. So he has to be careful about that. And Tonix now has extended the lead to 5.5 seconds, and Hamilton has left the session once again. His connection really doesn't seem to be that stable. So now he will get overtaken also by Danix and Sainz and all the others. And now Tonix gets his name on the penalty board, so he goes level with Smokeman. So now the gap you see is the effective one and not the one without calculating the penalties. 5.2 seconds right now. Smokeman is also gaining something. He gained a couple of tenths in this lap. It's the gap has been going back and forth for pretty much the entire race. In the meantime, Aloy has let Cacciaro through finally, and I think this means Aloy's pit stop is right around the corner, because he has been running with these tires for like 23 laps, and he will be stopping really shortly now. Hamilton, I think it's Hamilton's ghost car that is stopping in the pit lane, so I don't think we have to count this as an effective pit stop from the TF1 driver. So let's see what will the situation be when the guys on soft tires are going to stop and are going to put on the ultra soft tires to run to the end. I think they will be trying to extend this stint as much as they can, because the ultra softs aren't that durable on this track. They are they go off in like 10 laps. So either you have to nurse them really well, or you have to be really smooth and keep them in good shape for a long time. Now it's 14 laps to the end, and Hamilton is now rejoining, while their Sainz is going wide at the second to last turn, and he goes straight into the pits after that. I think he lost control after the hairpin down the grandstand, and then he decided to pit right away. I don't know if he was going to pit anyway, but he does now have fresh ultra soft tires, and let's see what he can do with them. Meanwhile, Hamilton has rejoined the lobby. Don't think he has regained control of his car yet, but I think he will shortly. And Danix has stopped as well. He has gone on to ultra soft tires, and Reds and Mark are stopping together on this lap. So just Tonix and Smokeman remain out on soft tires. Let's see who is going to be the first one to stop. Tonix also has 1 lap fresher tires, because he stopped 1 lap later than Smokeman on the first stint. So Reds and Mark obviously remain in P3 and P4, with Cacciaro in 5th, who, if he's going to run to the end with these medium tires, this could be quite a good position to be in for him. Of course, he's not going to catch Mark or Reds, because they are on much fresher and much softer tires, but if he does some good defensive work, he could stay ahead of Danix and Sainz. It will be difficult because, as I said, for the tire difference, but I'm sure he's gonna try it. And now Salvatore Aloi has just overtaken Magic for P9. So the Red Bull driver is into 9th position. In the meantime, yes, both Smokeman and Tonix have stopped now, and Smokeman has also gained something. 4.6 seconds is the gap right now. When we are on lap 55 of 67, with the 12 laps to go for this race. Mark seems to be quite at ease with his tires, because he has gained a little bit on reds. Don't know if he's going to try and challenge his teammate for the podium, but you never know. While Tonic seems to have gotten into a good rhythm and is now pulling away a little bit lap by lap from Smokeman, while Casciaro is dropping back really very much from Mark, and also Danix is right there, so he will be attacked very shortly by the Haas driver. Let's see if he manages to dispatch of the Red Bull fast enough. I think he's going for it right now. Casciaro chooses the middle of the track, but nothing can resist the new ultra soft tires that Danix has on his car. And so Danix takes P5 from Simo Casciaro. So yeah, he will catch up to Casciaro quite shortly, so because he has newer tires, and let's see. While Sainz has a 3-second penalty, I don't think it's his first one, so once again he has a little bit of problems with track limits, as we have seen many people having today. It's not a track where it's easy to stay into the track limits, especially that the shape of some corners. I can think of turn 1 is really it's really difficult to stay to take the corner with the right speed, not to go too wide or not to turn in too early. So a mixture of difficulties for this track, while Hamilton is really close to Casciaro and will be attacking soon. He tries the move on the inside there, but it doesn't work. Now he will try to get a better exit on the start-finish straight. He does so. Let's see if he's going to try to attack on turn 1. Yes, he does.
Ragazzi,
No, he
scusate,
doesn't.
la live, c'è qualche problema alla live, non so Ale.
Okay.
Siamo online, no? Ok.
Okay, Hamilton has retired from the session. Now he's officially
Meanwhile,
out of
there
the
was
race.
a lag of Hamilton, and Sainz hit him in back of his car and damaged his front wing.
Okay, so Sainz has lost a part of his front wing. due to Hamilton's lag, and Hamilton has now retired. This seems pretty much the recipe for a TF1 disaster. Because they lost their driver that was positioned the best for the whole race, and they effectively lost another one because of an incident with within the family, actually. And so now Sainz has to pull into the pits for sure, and he will lose a lot of positions. And yeah, right now it looks like a bit of a disaster for the TF1 guys, because also Albon had that contact with the Magic on the early stages of the race, and is now 11th position, just ahead of Sainz, and he has just let Tonix through. While Sainz has rejoined in P12 on ultra soft tires. So a really abysmal ending to the race for the TF1 guys, and that's absolutely not what they were looking for going into the last round on Friday in Abu Dhabi. Lap 60 of 67. Let's do a little bit of a recap. We have Tonix in P1, then Smokeman, Reds, Mark, Danix, then Simo Casciaro, Salvatore Aloi, Magic, F1 Gae, and Talema rounding out the top 10. Outside of the top 10 we have Albon, Sainz, Delmas, Libero, who had was disconnected in the early stages of the race, and now is trying to run to the end just to get those few points he can. Difficult race for Libero. While Tonix has extended his gap a little bit more. He's now on 6.3 seconds from Smokeman, and I think we have Mark, who is very close to Reds, and remember, Reds has a 3-second time penalty. I don't remember if Mark does so as well. I think he does. Let me just check real quick. Yes, he does. Yes. While the Red still has just one like him. Yes, so they're both on 3-second time penalty as Smokeman and Tonix. So the guys in the top 4 are all on the same level. The gaps you can see on screen are the effective ones. And let's see if Mark will have the pace to overtake Reds, although I don't think the FMD guys are going to take the risk of an on-track overtake if it's going to change practically nothing for the results, while Mark takes a big risk going into turn 1. He just had to counter steer and avoid his car spinning, and he went really wide in turn 1. Now he's really close to Reds. I don't think Mark is okay with coming in 4th place. He wants to go on the podium, maybe. I don't know if if there are going to be some team orders in order to preserve this situation as best as they can, but Mark seems really punchy at the moment. Maybe he's just very comfortable with this this compound of tires. 3/10 now between him and Reds. None of them is seems to be taking that many risks, apart from that correction Mark had to do on the last lap. Really risking it all there, and now here he comes. Goes to the inside, and Reds doesn't put up any fight at all, and Mark goes into P3 when we are on lap 63 of 67. 4 laps to go, and Mark has just gained himself a spot on the podium. While all the lapped cars seem to have damaged a little bit Smokeman because he lost half a second. Maybe Tonics just managed to overtake them in spots that were where he lost less time than the Renault driver. So he managed to gain this quite a comfortable lead. Now he has 6.9 seconds, while Smokeman still has Gaet to lap, which is right in front of him now. But yeah, the top two have been pretty much in a world of their own for this this race. It would have been the top three, because also Hamilton was looking good in terms of pace and looking similar to Tonics and Smokeman, but then his connection betrayed him and left him at the side of the track. We can say it like that. But yeah, we're seeing Tonics, then Smokeman at 7 seconds, and then pretty much a 30 seconds black hole until we find Mark. Who's still in P3 though. He has managed the race really well as Reds. They have built the gap to Danix, which is now 11.6 seconds. And they are running pretty much in tandem for these closing stages of the race. Not really any battles to talk about in this final part of the race, as Tonics has just started the second to last lap and is now on the straight after turn 3. He has to save a little bit of fuel though, because it seems that he's running a little bit short on that, while Smokeman is trying to push right at the dead of this race. He has 6.3 seconds right now. He has gained something. But yeah, Tonics is now back on par with his fuel and looking to start the last lap of this race. Lap 67 of 67 is starting right now for the leader, and for second place Smokeman, who have driven incredibly well in this race and have pretty much demolished all the others who are the best part of 30 seconds behind them. So really, those two were absolutely unchallenged for the whole race. And now they are going to take P1 and P2. Last section of corners for Tonix, who enters in the stadium section right now. The hairpin for him. Just 3 corners to go for the Ferrari driver, who has led this race from start to finish, starting from pole position. Really an incredible drive for F1 MD Tonix, who comes across the line and wins the German Grand Prix ahead of P2 Smoken 845. Then we have F1 MD Mark, who is going to enter the last sector right now. We'll have to wait for him to come across the line. He does now enter the stadium section. He goes through the last couple of corners. He goes also a lot wide, but maybe he's just for celebrating a little bit, because he's P3 and his teammate Reds is P4. Then Danix will come home in 5th, followed by Simo Casciaro, Salvatore Aloy, and Magic, who did a stunning job to recover up to P8. So let's wait for these guys to finish, while Casciaro gains the spot on Danix due to his penalties. So a really great and clean drive for Casciaro earns him 1 spot, as well as from Magic, who gains the spot on Salvatore Aloy. So with the win from Tonix, 2nd place from Smokeman, and P3 of F1MD Mark, I think we can wait for the guys, for these 3 guys to join us here in the commentary box for some quick questions. Quick because it's quite late today, because we had to start over a couple of times, but yeah, they will give them the honor that they deserve for the great race they have driven. And we are just waiting for them. But look at that, the first 8 positions are all Italian drivers, so that's also a statistics. We will be having a completely Italian podium, as well as a completely Italian top 8. Let's see if the guys in the top 3 are coming. Well, actually, I do not
The
own
host
this
of the party is
so
Alessandro, so he
okay, so he has to invite them. Okay, thank you. Lost track of those little things in rebuilding everything. So let's just wait for them, and we can start hearing some opinions from the drivers themselves. Here we have Mark, who is the first to join us. Hi Mark, buonasera.
Sì. Buonasera.
And we have also Smokeman joining us, and we'll be waiting for Tonix in a second, and we are going to start. I think we can start by going from P3 to P1, so Let's start with Mark. Allora Marco, faccio prima la domanda in italiano, scusa, faccio prima la domanda in inglese e poi te la traduco, tu mi rispondi e io traduco. Facciamo così.
Ok.
So it was a little bit of a tough race for you, not quite on the pace of the top two, but in the end, with being consistent and a good pace, all in all, you managed to get this podium. Allora, non è stata una gara realmente a livello dei primi due in termini di passo, però con la costanza e comunque un ritmo decisamente buono, sei riuscito ad arrivare sul podio comunque. Dici un pochino di sensazioni.
Sì, penso che oggi era il massimo che si potesse fare perché i due là davanti avevano assolutamente un altro passo, quindi le qualifiche un po' così, eravamo tutti vicini alla fine in 2-3 decimi, ma 7 piloti credo, quindi è stato un peccato partire dietro. Poi la pausa, circa 30 minuti di stare fermi è stato veramente pesante, devo dire, perché si è perso un po' di concentrazione, un po' tutto. Poi, infatti, il primo stint ho faticato molto, la partenza è stata buona, sono rimasto fuori, diciamo, dai guai per fortuna, ho guadagnato qualche posizione anche. Poi facevo molta fatica, avevo la macchina che era molto nervosa, in uscita dalle curve anche in percorrenza, non la riuscivo a gestire bene, avevo aperto un gap da quelli davanti a me di circa 5 secondi. Per fortuna dopo il primo pit l'ho iniziato a guidare molto meglio, con le nuove soft andava molto meglio a metà gara, ho iniziato a recuperare piano piano da quelli davanti, c'è stata anche un po' di fortuna, qualcuno penso che sia crashato, credo Hamilton.
Sì, Hamilton.
Eh, sì, Hamilton, poi alla fine la strategia è stata perfetta, era quello che avevamo pianificato. Alla fine Rez ha avuto un po' di difficoltà con le ultra, le ha consumato un po' troppo e l'ho passato. Quindi oggi è stato tutto perfetto alla fine, il risultato ottimo per noi, per la squadra e speriamo che rimangano così i risultati.
Perfetto. So it was a tough start. In the first part of the race, I didn't feel that comfortable. It was a shame to start that far back because we were all the like 7, 8 drivers in less than half a second. So it was really a shame. But in the first stint, I didn't feel that well. I was driving and sliding a little bit with those soft tires, but then everything turned on its head when I put on the second set of soft tires. I started gaining a little bit on the guys ahead, and then on the last stint, I tried. Also with the ultra soft and saw that Reds had used them a little bit too much, and so I could overtake him right at the end. But all in all, it was a really good showing, and it was the maximum I could get today. So let's move on to Smokeman. First of all, congratulations. And it seemed that you, Tonix, and until he was in the race, Hamilton, were on a world of your own. You had a really great gap from the guys behind, and you managed a pace that no one could match. So just wanted a little bit of a review from your viewpoint. You didn't start that well, but then you managed to recover and got into the rhythm at the half of the first stint, more or less. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I had a tough start because I lost 2 positions, but I kept calm and I overtake Reds after some laps, and after the first pit stop, I overtake also Hamilton. I tried to recover, but Tonic had a monster pace. I gave everything, but it was not enough. I'm happy for personal result because I keep a really good pace, better than practice, but not completely because our team had lost some points from FMD, so yeah, nothing.
Okay, thank you, Smokeman. And now let's move on to the race winner of today, F1 MD Tonics. Hi, David. Congratulations, first of all. And yeah, tell us about your race. Well, it was really well managed, led from start to finish. You managed also a really good lap in qualifying on the soft tires, and I think that was important because, as also Smokeman said, he got caught up in traffic a little bit at the start of the race. He lost a couple of positions and then had to regain them. You having pole position was very important for settling into your rhythm more from the start of the race.
Yeah, as Mokman said, it was crucial to start as in front as it was possible, and especially in front of the ultra soft guys. Yeah, at the start I managed to keep the position, and then during the race I kept a really good pace, and yeah, at the end I gave everything for the fastest lap, which was I think a little bit bugged because
It was.
yeah. But yeah, I'm very happy again for the team. Mark and Reds have done a really good job. Now that I have finished all the tokens, I can only wish the best luck to all, and let's see what the next race will show us.
Okay, thank you, David, and thank you and congratulations to the top three guys and also to all the drivers that drove today in this really tough and really tense race. Thank you also to the stream director of tonight, Alessandro Pietracatella.
Thank you.
And I think it's pretty much everything we have for now, but the next race, and you don't really want to miss it, it's Friday, same time, same place. We are in Abu Dhabi for the finale of the 2019 Formula Europe Champions League. It's all we have for now. Stay tuned. Good night.